Michael, you mentioned one time when we talked before, we were on the WWE Network, that in 1984, Fritz had talked about merging with Vince McMahon. I'd never heard that before, and I was watching it back yesterday, just trying to get ready for the show here, and I missed that. David died, I think, February 10th, 1984, and you said maybe if David hadn't died, maybe that would have worked out because Kerry and Kevin didn't really care about anything but wrestling, and Fritz was more territorial minded, didn't really want to expand nationally. Was there talk of Fritz merging with Vince?
There was, but it was excuse me, it was very subdued talk and was up in the higher echelons. It only trickled down to us probably after it was done, but before Vince Sr. died, I know that Fritz really liked Vince Sr. and the feeling was mutual. And there was talk of a merger, which would really given them most of the country when you consider their TVs. Because Dallas World Class Championship Wrestling had a really good syndicated record there at the time. But it didn't materialize. I don't know why. I think Fritz pulled back the reins. It may have been from Kevin and Kerry, but that would be just speculation. I think it would have been a good thing, but it didn't pan out. It obviously panned out for Vince Jr. and maybe it was his father getting sick, and Vince Jr. didn't want to expand with the Von Erichs. Because there was always stories about the Von Erichs that might make you a little certain about becoming a business partner with them. So yeah, I don't know. That was the story of my life. It's like when we were on TBS the first time and it was ready to go, and we were so hoping Jim Barnett would go, and the only place he would go was where nobody was running at all, like Michigan, Ohio, West Virginia. And if he would have been like Vince McMahon Jr. back in the early 80s when he took over, Jim Barnett would have put a lot of people out of business with TBS.
Michael, that was the key to Jack and I's defection, was because we couldn't get any of that to go, because that's what we wanted to go. We saw what was going on up north, and we saw all that, and we had partners that was that old blood oath of the NWA. I won't take his territory. I won't work on his territory. My TV won't infringe on his TV. I mean, those guys, you got to respect that. They had such a tight bond for this business, but it was only the promoters that had the bond. I mean, screw the boys, but the promoters were tight like that, and they kept it going. And Jack and I saw that, but you're right. Vince was getting ready to go, and Barnett, hey, well, the only reason we went up to Michigan and Ohio, West Virginia, that was a dead territory because Sheik had killed it with his territory. And when I went up there and opened that damn thing up, the biggest objects that I would run into was when I wanted to do a promotion with a TV station or a radio station. Sheik owed them hundreds of thousands of dollars, and so they looked at us as the same thing that the Sheik was. And I'd pull out that TBS sack. I said, "This is how many homes we're in. You think we can afford to screw you around? We're here to do business, on a permanent basis." But we're, as you know, because you were a huge part of it, we were selling out every one of those damn states, and we just, we go up there every 2 weeks, and we knew that was a sellout for the weeks that we were up there.
That's where you made your money, was on the northern tours.
Exactly. If we had had those northern tours, I mean, Vince probably would have had to pay a heck of a lot less money than what he paid Jack and I to get that place there.
But